Okay, so picture this. There's a hotel tucked away in a Florida lagoon, and it's got this absolutely wild secret. From the surface, it just looks like a really unique place to spend the night. But what's going on underneath? Well, that's helping us get ready for our next giant leap into outer space.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about checking into a hotel by scuba diving? Yeah, you heard me. Forget about elevators or stairs. At this place, the only way to get to your room is to strap on a scuba tank.
Yep, that's right. The check-in process at Jules Undersea Lodge in Key Largo, Florida is, well, it's something else. You gear up, you dive 30 feet down into this mangrove lagoon, and then you enter through something called a moon pool. It's basically an opening in the floor that lets you right into the habitat. This is America's only underwater hotel, and trust me, the adventure starts way before you even get to drop your bags.
So once you're inside, you're in a totally different world, completely submerged in the ocean. And you might be wondering, how does the water stay out? Well, the whole lodge is filled with compressed air. It's this really clever system that just pushes the water down and keeps it from flooding the rooms. After you pop through the airlock, you can take a quick hot shower, and then you're totally free to explore your new home under the sea.
And check out the view from your room. You're not going to find any cityscapes or garden views here. No, instead, you get this massive 42-inch window that looks right out into this incredible marine habitat. I mean, you can literally lie in bed and watch tropical angelfish, parrotfish, maybe even a barracuda or two just swim right on by. It's total, complete immersion. What's so cool about this place is the mix of, rugged adventure with these surprising comforts. For one, you get unlimited dive tanks, so you can just go explore the lagoon whenever you want. And get this, you can order a hot pizza, and a diver will actually deliver it right to your door through the airlock. How cool is that? And you're completely safe the whole time, of course. There's a command center on the surface monitoring everything 24/7. It's such a unique experience that it's even attracted big names like Steve Tyler from Aerosmith and the former Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau.
But how does a place like this even come to exist? It wasn't always a hotel. In fact, its story starts with some really serious scientific exploration.
Okay, so let's rewind to the 1970s. This exact same structure was actually a cutting-edge undersea research lab called La Chalupa, and it was off the coast of Puerto Rico. Then, in 1986, they moved it all the way to Florida and turned it into the hotel we're talking about today. But here's the thing. It never really lost its scientific soul. Even now, it's both this one-of-a-kind hotel and a fully active research facility.
And its original mission? This was serious business. The lab was built to support scientists who were actually living and working on the continental shelf. We're talking 50 pioneering aquanauts who lived inside this thing over 11 different missions. They were doing super important research on everything from marine biology to how the human body reacts under all that pressure.
And that word I just used, Aquanaut, that's really important here. Because when you stay at Jules, you're not just a guest. You're actually joining a very, very exclusive club.
So what is an aquanaut anyway? Well, the official definition is pretty specific. It's someone who has lived in an underwater habitat at ambient pressure, that's just the natural pressure of the water around it, for at least 24 hours straight. It's a title that came about back in the 60s and 70s when there was this intense race to explore the oceans, kind of like the space race was happening at the same time.
And here's the coolest part. Just by staying overnight at Jules Undersea Lodge, you meet that requirement. So you don't just check out with cool memories and photos. You leave with an official certificate and the title of Aquanaut. You literally become part of this amazing legacy of undersea pioneers.
But this whole legacy of human research, it's not just stuck in the past. It's actually being used right now to tackle one of our biggest future challenges, living in outer space. You see, Jules Lodge is what scientists call an analog environment. That's just a fancy term for a place on Earth that's a lot like an extreme environment in space. Think a base on the Moon or Mars. NASA uses these kinds of analogs all the time, like the famous Aquarius Reef Base, to test out new technology and procedures before they actually send them into space. And when you think about it, living underwater is a lot like living on a space station. They're both isolated, pretty extreme environments. You're completely dependent on life support systems to survive. Sure, one has high pressure and the other has low gravity, but both of them put these unique stresses on your body and mind. And that makes them the perfect place to train astronauts and test out new gear. And just how serious is this research? I mean, really serious. In 2023, a guy named Dr. Joseph Dettori spent a record-breaking 100 days living inside Jules. He was studying undersea medicine, and he made it really clear that missions like his are absolutely essential for understanding all the challenges that come with long-term space travel.
And the science just keeps on going. Just this year, in early 2024, a university research team ran something called the Pirate Mission down at Jules. They were studying decompression sickness, the bends, which is super relevant for understanding the risks of spacewalks. They were also testing out equipment to grow fresh food, like microgreens, in these isolated spots. And they even live stream with students, which just shows how powerful this place is for education.
So what's the big picture here? Where is all this undersea research headed? Well, Jules is way more than just a cool piece of history. It's really a blueprint for the future of how we might live in all kinds of extreme environments.
The work happening right here is laying the foundation for much, much bigger things. I'm talking about ambitious projects like Proteus, which is this planned large-scale habitat that people are calling the International Space Station of the Sea. Jules is the critical first step, the place where they're working out the kinks, refining the tech, and proving that we can live and work under the ocean. It's what's paving the way for these underwater cities to actually become real.
Which kind of leaves us with this one last really fascinating thought. As we're all looking up at the stars and planning how to explore other worlds, it turns out that some of the most important lessons, well, they might be learned right here on our own planet, in the quiet, pressurized world of our oceans. So could it be that the path to the stars actually begins 30 feet under the sea?